how do we encourage individuals to be creative? It feels like a simple question, but the average person today, they're stressed, they're worried about COVID, they're worried about this, they're worried about that, they're not. How do we allow people to step back and be more creative?
Lots of ways, I think. A couple that just popped to mind, this is just thinking on the spot. You might want to, I'm thinking through to my own program right now in the Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry, different ways that we sort of put a spotlight on contributions of arts and humanities education to the education of health professionals. Create events and bring people out. It sort of, engages them and gives them a real taste, a real experience of what the possibilities of that are. And so by encouraging that interest, helps them to develop different ideas, imagine things that they might like to continue to experience. Just going back to something I was thinking about a little while ago, and I'll circle back here, and there's both active and more passive participation in creative activities. So you could be an observer of music or attend an exhibition, and there are wonderful benefits of that as well that have been documented through the research in terms of stress reduction and just feeling better and with a more positive outlook on the rest of the day. And they did some studies of office workers who at lunchtime, if they went to an art exhibition and took that in, just took an art for the lunch hour, it just changed the way that they felt through the rest of the day and through the week. So at any rate, so bringing events in would be one thing, and it might encourage people to go, well, we can do this ourselves. We have brought in artists in residence who have created different kinds of opportunities. We've had poets who have listened to people and their stories and reflected back what they heard through poetic form. So something that's really meaningful to them, and then sort of inspiring, this poems are really quite amazing. And so, if there's a workshop or knowing what's around in the community or might be available here, might come out. So those are a couple of things that pop to mind.
If you offered space to local clubs and societies to come in, you'll get residents involved and engaged from in the opposite direction. So a real bi-directional relationship of residents with the facility might prevent you having to stress about providing everything yourself, but engaging with the talent you have in residence is clearly important.
We had the Creative Age Festival in Edmonton. So it was once a year, and we had a number of different events that sort of try to encourage awareness of the positive possibilities of creative aging, promote quality programming in the area, have people come out and experience something, and so maybe that would inspire their interest. We would have films. There's a number of films that documented creative aging. People have come together in choirs and done amazing things, and with that taking on forgetting the rock band, but it was this contrast between age and this choir doing all these rock band hits. So films, experiences, having older artists come and talk about their life in arts.
We talked a lot previously earlier about the benefits of physical exercise on health and well-being and the physiological changes associated with engagement in physical exercise. We have an expert here who can talk about the impact of creativity, and there are some fascinating data there. I think you were talking earlier about that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll first comment on this in terms of the dissertation research that I did, where I looked at the stories of 7 people who came to take up art in later life following retirement. One, Mary Topping, I think she was in her early 80s when she, we talked about this a little bit earlier as well, when she thought to herself, well, if I don't sign up for a BFA now, when am I going to do it? She'd been thinking about it and thinking, well, it was worthwhile, and ended up being involved in a women's art collective And where I met her at the McMullen Gallery at the University of Alberta Hospital, her work, which is just stunning, wonderfully sculptural, etc., and the other two women that she was exhibiting with. And she was doing a workshop that I participated in. So now she's in her late 80s when I first met her, and she told these wonderful stories of all that she's learned and all she's gotten to experience newly and know of herself, finally coming to have that opportunity to realize her own artistic aspirations. She was well known for her garage studio, and people would visit there, so it was really wonderful and wild. So hearing stories like that is really quite amazing.